rolling.
Camera on?
It is now on. So, hello, Russell.
Hello.
It's Christmas Eve in our part of the world. And why is my camera stopped? Is my camera not going?
I can see you. There it is.
Now it's moving. Is your camera moving? Move your hand. Okay, so it is Christmas Eve, and this is the very first Christmas Eve in my entire life that I have not been at my childhood home. Actually, it might be the second time. It seems to me that one year we spent Christmas Eve maybe at my grandmother's house. But anyway, the first time I'm not in Minnesota. So I have a little tiny pang of homesickness. So let's fix that by drawing Santa. Does that sound like a good idea?
It sounds like a fine idea to me.
Now, I just was watching, because this was a headline a little bit ago about on Tucker Carlson on Fox News berating poor Dr. Anthony Fauci for talking about vaccinating Santa and things like that, and how he was caught in a lie. So,
Vaccinating Santa?
So evidently, Fox News, they'll just call him a liar, but they won't actually say that Santa doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the people that watch his TV show that still believe in Santa Claus. So, but these videos on my, I wish I could make my videos be only for thinking people. They say that, kids can't watch them, but that's not what I don't want stupid people to watch them. So anyway, I'm going to draw Santa's day. And he starts by getting up. And what would you do if you were Santa?
I would get drunk on eggnog. I mean, depending on the season.
Well, it's today. So what season is it today? Yes, he's a lot of work to do. So first of all, he's going to take a shower. So I'm drawing Santa in the shower. And because it's Santa, I can have full frontal view, but you won't see anything bad because he's too fat.
I'm just starting off with the stupidest Santa I can draw,
just
to get the stupid drawings out,
Yeah. So here's you're drawing a close-up of Santa in his little button nose. I'm drawing Santa's belly button, which you see there in the covering most of his legs, his belly. And then he has do you think Santa wears boots to bed?
That's a good question. It depends on what Mrs. Claus's tastes are like, I suppose.
I suppose, yeah. I'm going to pretend he doesn't wear boots. So he's took his boots off to take a shower. Okay. Are you done with your drawing already?
I'm done with that one. I just needed something to get my arms moving. Let's see.
Now, Santa doesn't always wears a hat. Do you think Santa has a full head of white hair, or is he sort of balding, do you think?
I think that he is, judging just from what I've seen in the media, I think that he is sort of balding, but that not entirely. He's balding, but it looks good on it. You know what I mean?
Does he have a comb over like our president has?
No, I doubt it. I think he combs it back, sort of
Okay.
like almost like you can see the widow's peak receding. You know what I
Like
mean?
like like Burl Ives did. So he's
Yeah.
okay. So here's his beard, his wet beard covered with lather. We don't think he probably has body hair though, does he?
Maybe a little bit of chest hair, like just tough, like a tuft right in the center.
Okay, nothing around his man teats though. No. In
No.
his pubic hair you don't see at all. You do get a little bit of white wispiness on his arms. And what eyes does he? Are they blue?
I just realized I'm drawing on transparent paper here.
Oh, good.
Strange.
Blue eyes, I think.
Let's say green, just to keep in line with.
Well, I'm making them blue. In my oh, God damn it. Well, so much for that. I'm done with that pencil. Do you think Mrs. Claus is offended when Santa says ho 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 to her?
Again, it depends on Mrs. Claus's taste, I think.
I,
You know, actually, we were talking about eggnog earlier. I actually had on a video not too long ago where they were talking about George Washington's eggnog recipe,
uh,
right? And so the recipe called for something like half cup of whiskey,
oh,
a
good.
fourth cup of brandy,
Uh-huh.
a fourth cup of Jamaican rum,
Okay.
and of course, like this is a party-sized one, so 12 eggs,
Oh dear.
uh, pint of cream or something like that. It's a wonder that he did not die.
And who again? Oh, George Washington.
Yeah, George Washington, or supposedly it was found in a cookbook called Christmas with the Washingtons,
I see.
which
Well,
didn't list any
George,
sources.
George, I think had, what could he do? He couldn't really chew on a piece of steak because with his wooden teeth. So he has to take simple pleasures in quantities of eggnog, I guess.
So actually, the wooden teeth are a myth.
Oh, okay.
His teeth were actually made of buck, or rather, stag antler.
Okay, so horn. So there's Santa taking a shower. I think he needs to have fatter arms. Does Santa have cankles?
You might have to define cankles.
Cankle is when you see, I don't know if cankles are only on women or on men as well, but it's when you see the bottom of the tree trunk of a woman's leg. Normally it gets thin and then comes out to the ankle, but a cankle is just a straight line and it's like a muffin top.
Oh,
So
okay.
I think those are called cankles. I might be wrong, but
I don't know. It's hard to say because he's always wearing the boots whenever I see him, you know?
he's always wearing the boots, and we don't see his luxuriant hair or lack thereof. We don't see his toes. We don't see his bare chest. You just see his little pink nose and his pink cheeks. in his twinkle in his eye. Okay, so this is his first rendition. So now I'm going to draw him fully clothed. So I'm starting with a red piece of paper. Might as well, because then I don't have to use so much red pencil. And what should he be doing? Feeding high performance oats to the reindeer.
I think that he should be distributing pamphlets to the poor.
Oh, that's not yet. None of his workers are poor. He pays them all a living wage. He hasn't gotten on his sleigh yet, even. That's drawings. Many drawings down the road. What is your Santa doing?
Right now, he is carrying a present. I don't know what he's going to be doing with his other hand. I'm afraid that I often don't plan out these things. I have to discover what's happening.
I see. Well, I'm sort of doing that as well. I don't know what Santa's doing with his hands.
Could be anything.
It could be anything, knowing in this video is not made for children, so he could be doing anything. God damn it! What's wrong with my Prismacolor pencils today? I wonder.
It's Christmas Eve and they want the day off.
They want the day off. So in your family, did you open packages on Christmas Eve or Christmas morning?
So what we end up doing usually is we open like certain presents on Christmas Eve and then save the rest for Christmas morning. Traditionally, it was, you know, the children, the younger children, got gave their presents on Christmas Eve and then received their big presents on Christmas morning. Well, there I stain my drawing. So basically, all of the presents that the children got were received on Christmas Day itself, while mom and dad got their tie and their bathrobe on
on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we were always a Christmas Eve family. And it was, it was fun because it was a day earlier, but it was also nighttime and the lights in the tree were blazing, and, it had a more, I don't know, festive feel to it than waiting until the next day. But there was usually always a big present on Christmas Day that Santa brought. We knew that all the other presents came from mom and dad, but Santa would bring look at that. He looks like a Russian monk. He looks sort of
Yeah, he kind of does.
Yeah, nice. Well, Santa is looking
Ooh. Wow, he definitely has been hitting the cookies this year, according to mine.
He has been hitting the cookies. What is he going to be doing though? Give him a mitten, a glove. Add more white fringe around his cuff. I'll fill the background with a grayish color just to show that he's not the background. Okay, so I don't know what he's doing, but There he is with his butt aiming at us. I think I'm going to draw him in his sleigh now. I'm going to move to a black piece of paper. Let's do 5 more minutes of this, and then we'll start again.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
So I like your black outline. You know, he's made for a stained glass window.
It's interesting because, like I said, this paper, I don't know whether you can see it quite over the thing, but it's translucent, slightly. So it's
okay. Nice.
Your stained glass metaphor is rather fitting.
Yeah. Well, here's the stars in the sky. Should I do the typical Christmas card where he's making a silhouette in front of the moon, like that movie, the E.T., whatever it was? We'll do it this way. Here's Santa in his sleigh. Oh, there's his presents, all his presents. And you've got the reindeer with Rudolph in the front. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer goes right there. That's his red nose. You can't see it. God damn it. What's wrong with this? Can you see that as red?
Yeah, I can.
I guess a little bit, but it's not as red as I wanted it to be. So here's Santa. Just this red blob. White fringe. White thing, white cuffs. Okay, let's do the package. Sleigh. Antler. Oh, you got an elf.
Yeah, at this point, I'm just drawing a bunch of elves.
I look forward to our three-way with Sally.
I am too.
Our dessin à toi.
Destin à toi, si. That's Italian. I don't know. I don't speak French, people. Hey.
Now, I think it'll be fun to watch how she draws. I have a feeling that her hand must hold the pen very similar to how your hand holds the pen.
Yeah, sort of. She's got sort of. I imagine she's real loosey goosey with everything.
Yeah.
It would show up in her drawings.
I mean, it's
her drawings sort of reminded me of like that one drawing you see all the time of the dove that Picasso did.
Yeah.
It's basically what I think of when I think of her style, as it were.
Well, that's one of her many styles. I mean, what's neat about her is she can do so many different kinds of things. So here's the moon. Hit your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore. And then I have to draw the conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn, since that's in the news today. Stupid.
Function. What's your function? bringing doom and bad prophecies to the planet.
There's the, oh, I may have, well, whatever. Here's the 4 Galilean moons, and here's the ears on. Galileo thought these were ears. He called them ears. He knew they weren't ears, but he called them ears. Saturn, the rings, because he saw them from a particular angle. Okay, should I draw the Earth down below? Now, the Earth, I have to decide is whether it's going to be, do we believe in flat Earth here?
Oh, yes.
I think that the Republicans that vote for Trump must believe in a flat Earth.
Look, they will believe what they think will get the votes. Okay.
Okay.
Actually,
well,
speaking of dirty Republican lies,
yeah.
I'm actually reading a novel right now by an Italian author called Giovanni Pizzigoni, I think it is. I don't know whether it's Pizzigoni or Pizzigoni. Anyway, it's a sort of science, I would call it speculative fiction novel, basically.
Yeah.
Where imagine the coronavirus, but it turns people in, but it's a strain of what was it? The one that struck the Congo a long time ago. Not
Ebola.
A long time ago.
Ebola.
Ebola, yeah, basically a strain of Ebola that takes that turns people into sort of vampire zombies. Okay. But the main intrigue is the political intrigue, and one of the interesting things is, even as a person in the Italian political landscape, he's pretty well understood how the American one works.
Okay.
Like one of the character who is clearly a stand-in for Donald Trump. Basically has this line that I was reading like at 3 a.m. when I wasn't sleeping.
Oh.
He has a line that basically reads, "We politicians are basically like actors. We stand on the stage and give the people what they want."
Okay.
You know, that's basically what they're all about. Because I mean, now I'm getting on a rant. This is Christmas. We should be thinking of Christmas things.
Well, the conspiracy theory about Hugo Chavez, getting up out of his grave and voting for Biden and all that other kind of stuff, whatever they're saying, it's now I know they're not saying that, but they talk about dead people, and he's dead, and is part of this conspiracy with the Dominion voting machines and stuff. That the other conspiracy theories, like men never got to the moon and the world is flat, I would think that they are all equally believable by the people that are Trump supporters as well. So
I mean, the idea is not the idea really isn't so much I believe in this because I believe it is the truth. The idea is I believe in this because it is much more politically convenient for me to believe in this.
Well, I'm not talking about the Republican. Right now I'm talking about the
conspiracy
the voters, not the actual politicians who.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying too. I mean, you have to imagine. I think honestly of conspiracy theorists as probably the most optimistic people. How are we on time? Should we switch over?
Well, we're going to stop as soon as you're done with your sentence. Then we'll move to the next one.
So I'll just say that I think conspiracy theorists are the most optimistic people on the planet. And now I'll save the rest for
Okay.
For-
For part two, explain that to
yeah,
me.
part
Part two. So we'll stop this now. So I'm going to stop it. Say goodbye. Part one, and we'll link them up later. Okay. So, are we starting yet? Starting recording. I don't. It seems like it starts before it says it starts, but okay. So we're going. Okay, good. So the last week's episode ended with Russell about to tell us why conspiracy theorists are optimists.
So, if my reasoning is basically that if you're a conspiracy theorist, what you're basically telling yourself at the end of the day, right, is that, well, there's these bad people and they all have evil plans, like putting Groucho Marx mustaches like this. Is that good, or is that
That's
a Hitler
perfect.
mustache?
A little bit. It has to be a little
Okay.
bit bigger. That's a little too Hitler-like. There we go.
Okay, like that one. And then I'll just add this right here, just to make sure he's wearing glasses, right?
Yeah. I don't know whether he was.
And one,
I don't know if he wore glasses in the movies. I know he wore glasses
oh,
later in life, but that's okay.
Anyway, I've also got to add like a little smoking cigar.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. In his hand.
If I had more room, I would give him the little wisecracking grin.
Or the duck
Anyway,
that comes down. The duck that comes down when you say the magic word from his TV show. Well, I think that works well. Good, perfect.
Anyway, conspiracy theorists.
Yeah,
they're all basically asserting there is a bad person with a master plan, right?
Okay. Yep.
But at the end of the day, they're also basically saying they're also basically saying that they have faith in somebody, right?
Okay.
They're saying, oh, well, it's not all just random bad stuff that's happening. There's somebody that's able to control it.
I don't know if that's
like
true.
this, they're basically, like, think about it. Like the coronavirus, for example. There are people who believe it was made in a laboratory deliberately, and that it wasn't an accident that it got out, right?
No.
So, I mean, and the flat Earth thing. What is that? Like, if you can disprove that the Earth is round, then it's saying that the biblical text is correct. So then you have the greatest conspirator in the universe, the person who conspired to bring humanity to life in the first place, or, well, not person, being anyway. I'm basically, when it comes down to it, conspiracy theorists are very religious, no matter how scientific they think they are. And so they're not like nihilistic, is what I'm saying, like a bunch of people can be.
Well, I think there are so many people that are involved in the conspiracy. It's not just Lee Harvey Oswald, it's the FBI, CIA, and Hugo Chavez, and Dominion Voting Machine, and NASA, and Jews, because the Jews are in control of everything, as you know. And and so everyone, all of these people have to be part of this thing to pull the wool over your eyes. So there's a lot of people that have to keep a secret, which I find very difficult to believe. Like, why wouldn't some guy that has the proof of the moon landing as being faked sell it to the people for $1 billion and retire in his
Yeah,
part of
like
the house.
how could it be possible that all of these people holding this big secret all
Yeah.
at once are able to keep it somehow?
I don't know. See, that's the thing. That's the thing that people
That's the
don't.
one thing that they have to have a lot of faith that these people are just very good at keeping
Well,
secrets.
I guess so. So I'm drawing. You're adding. Boy, Santa has a fuchsia thing,
Yeah,
doesn't
I'm adding this colored acrylic ink.
he? Oh, and your shaky pen.
Not in the shaky pen, but I've got a brush that I'm spreading it about.
I see. Okay. Well, I'm drawing poor Santa is lodged in a fireplace, and he's slow cooking.
Oh dear.
My mother in her youth never believed in Santa Claus because her house didn't have a chimney. So she knew that
That he could not come down the chimney.
Santa Claus, she decided that Santa must have been fake because he couldn't be real, because a real Santa would never not give my mother a present. I suppose that's how her logic went. Rather than, we just don't have a thing, so Santa won't come here. She took it a step further to just say that Santa didn't exist. My mother had a very strange idea about logic stuff. She always thought that I should learn how to swim because I would sail my sailboat a lot. And I said, well, Mother, I always wear a life jacket. Well, what if you get knocked out? And I would say, well, no amount of knowledge of swimming is going to help if I'm knocked out. But she never quite understood that.
Yeah, that's a bad argument.
Yes.
I mean, I personally think it's not a bad idea to learn how to swim if you're going to
No,
be sailing a lot.
it's a perfectly good idea to do, but I would always say that I wear a life jacket. Okay, so here's poor Santa lodged in the fireplace, and just for realism, what am I going to do now with my yellow Prismacolor pencils?
You're going to make fire.
I'm going to make little flickery flames of fire coming up.
Good gracious flickery flames of fire.
Yeah, alliterative fire. A little bit of orange here, a little cinders coming up. But none of them are getting out. So what's going to happen here? If we plug up this has to end happily, I think, right? So if we plug up the chimney with a big fat jolly man, smoke will come out of the bottom of the chimney and fill up the house, right?
Right.
Now, what would your mommy and daddy do if that was happening on Christmas Eve?
Abandon the kids.
They leave the kids tucked in bed.
Leave the kids. We can always make more.
Okay. That's what your mom and daddy would do. What about other people's mom and dad? They would go out. They would gather the children, and they would go outside, and dad get get the ladder out of the garage and go up and look down through the chimney to see Santa's little pink face. And this is where Dad has the ability to suggest, he's got some leverage on this fatso trapped. He could say, Santa,
you're kind of in a bad situation here.
Yeah. And last year when I wanted that new car, that new Ford Bronco or whatever car he wanted, I didn't get it. But now I think I want that. Do you have that?
So, Santa, let's say you do me a favor and I do you a favor.
Yeah. So let's
make a deal.
Let's make a little deal here, Santa. And Santa knows that he's trapped and he has to do that. So down comes what? A rope for little Santa to grab onto.
Santa, you have this one option out. This rope.
And
you choose what to do with it, Santa.
And then they open up all the windows, and then they get the jack out of the car, the old Buick that the dad still has, because Santa hasn't actually given him the truck yet.
Bronco.
So they get the tire iron or the jack out, and they slowly push him up out of the chimney, so he can continue on his way after
his merry way.
So, and you've got a very, very pale Santa, but I like him. like that.
I know, it's because the colors of this ink are so bright, and I do not have a median.
It's okay. So what will my next drawing be?
A lot more exciting than mine. I'm afraid mine tend to be very, very dull compared to yours.
Well, I think
it's because I'm of this mindset that I have to maybe it's also the tools I'm using, I don't know. Or the fact that I just don't have ideas anymore.
What do you mean you don't have ideas anymore? You have ideas coming out of your every pore. I was going to mention one particular spot, but you've got them out of every pore, your ideas. Right. Well, I'm going to use the back side of this one. It's a gray thing. So we've got Santa on the sleigh, caught in the thing. Shall I draw him back home with applause?
Why not? Let's give this a happy end.
Here's the North Pole, and the curvature of the Earth that I'm showing, the flat earthers say is done with Photoshop when they see pictures of the Earth that is round. But so flat earthers can say that this is photoshopped, but I'm drawing as if you believe that the Earth is in fact a spheroid thing. Okay, so what kind of palace does Santa and his workers live in, I wonder? It's not just an I don't think.
I honestly imagine it would be something like I can't remember what year it was, but there was the 19 something Chicago World's Fair where they did the crystal, the white city. Yeah, that's
the
what
white
they
city.
called
So
it.
that was like neoclassical.
Yeah,
And
maybe it should be more fantastical, like Wizard of Oz like stuff, though.
well, then an Emerald City like. Well, I'm going to make it. It's still going to be made out of ice. So we've got all sorts of stuff going on. We've got it's going to be glowing because it's all made of crystal and ice. In Minneapolis, they would have an ice festival, winter carnival, or something. I forget what they called it. Winter carnival. And they would make an ice palace. They would actually make like a 4-story tall building out of ice that you could visit.
Extremely pink Santa. Well, let's go for it. Let's see what happens.
Well, I kind of liked him before with just the, but that's okay. His ruddiness.
Well, I'll just add a bit more white over top of it.
This is turning into the Disney castle. Unfortunately, we have to have a bunch of belching smokestacks though, because those, they did or does the North Pole have atomic power?
Well, I feel like solar power would be better.
During when? When is it sunny up there in the North Pole at winter time?
Well, all they have to do is make reserves of it during the winter.
During the summer months, you mean?
During the summer months or whatever, whenever they have sun up there.
They have. They have sun in the summer. They have the sun up there in the North Pole. Are you a flat earther?
You can tell because Santa is very sunburnt.
Are you a flat earther, a closet flat earther there?
I thought you were well aware of my truthiness, as it were.
Yeah.
I don't. It's too early in the morning. I'm not clever today.
Your birther earthiness. You also
yes.
the birther theory. Okay. Well, I think for artistic sake, I need to have belching factory smokestacks. But at the very tippy top of this thing, we have the striped, candy cane striped pole, showing that this is the North Pole. Little dot on top. There we go. I think the elves, as happy as they seem to be in your picture, live in squalor.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
In tenements that are located maybe in Finland. No, I don't know where. Let's make the sky dark.
Oh, there we go.
Have you ever seen the movie 5,000 Fingers of Dr. T?
No, but I know of that one. The one that Theodore Geisel directed.
Yeah. I don't know if he directed it, but he
he wrote it or something like that.
Yeah.
He was very much involved in it.
It's an amazing movie. And
I mean, it's about an evil piano teacher that confines lots of children to live inside of a giant organ or something like that. I believe
they live in a place that has a giant piano that has the 5,000 fingers of Dr. T. It has room for 500 piano players to play the song that he loves so much, which is called 10 Happy Indians. And, but what's interesting is there's only one woman in the entire movie, and that's the boy's mother.
Who the real piano teacher is trying to seduce.
The real piano teacher tries to seduce her, but he does quite a rather nice dance with Mr. Zabludowski, the plumber, who is so there's this little tiny bit of homo suggestivity going on there, and the song between the boy and Mr. Zabludowski is, when they're done singing this duet, you swear that they're going to kiss after it, because they look at each other lovingly, and it's not my mind in the gutter, people at home. Don't think that I'm perverse. Look at the movie yourself and you tell me what they're going to do. The song is quite beautiful. It's called Dream Stuff that they sing. Dream stuff, dream stuff. Do. If you only dare grab that we're into, settle it right into. Anyway, feel it. Don't let anybody steal it. So, dream stuff. The songs are very much Dr. Seussian in terms of their sort of nonsensical lyrics. It's really fun. I'll try to find something where you can see it. In fact, actually, if you can rent it and watch it, I think your family would like it as a holiday treat.
That would not surprise me.
It's really, really delightful, and the two Hasidic Jews that are joined at the beard. They're Siamese Hasidic Jews joined at the beard, and they're on roller skates.
That sounds like something that Dr. Seuss would draw.
Yeah. When I first saw that movie, I was quite young, and it was on TV, and it scared me to death. It was on the TV show that would have Dracula and Frankenstein movies normally, or sometimes science fiction movies with monstrous giant creatures from other worlds that were consuming people, and they did not frighten me as much as this movie did, with this little boy at the piano. And I couldn't watch it. I had to turn it off. I could not. It scared me the first few minutes. Well, I made this.
Have those strange experiences with movies that are not intended to be scary, but somehow manage to be so for young children in particular.
I mean, to me, any clown is scary, but I don't think you have that fear that I do. So there's the North Pole. Boy, you're making Santa hold his breath. Maybe that's the Santa that came out of the fireplace. He's burned.
I think so. I'm trying to
and he's dealing
reduce
with,
his risk.
and he's dealing with skin grafts and stuff.
Yes. Oh
Um,
dear.
so
Well, I probably better give up this Christmas ghost.
okay, let's just stop this one because we're at 24 minutes again. So let me stop it, and we'll be back for our final one. So be right back. Okay, here we are again. Oh, except my recording is frozen. Let me redo it here. Now it's moving. Are you moving?
Let me find out.
Yes, you are moving. Good. So I like don't do any more on the face
No, on the face of whom?
on the faces of anyone else. I like the fact that it looks like the Santa's face is glowing and causing Chico to have only. You can do whatever you want to. It's your.
I'm gonna a little bit more here.
It looks like they're getting the glow from Santa on their Santa side of the face.
That joyous holiday glow.
Yes. And look at the way you're holding your pen. You're holding it like you're a Japanese person doing calligraphy.
Part of it is that I'm trying to not get in the way of the camera, but then again, I would probably do this just on its own.
No,
I like this pink here.
you're just holding it vertically. So the guy that I sent you the link to on Instagram that had all the dog pictures with the teeth.
Yeah.
Did you like him, or was he too?
He
What?
was he was interesting.
Yeah.
He did a lot of birds when I looked at his other stuff.
Uh,
I'm it's one of those things where that's I kind of like that, but
yeah.
then you see how competitive it is, and there's a certain level of strangeness.
Yeah. Oh, God damn it. Yeah. There are certain elements of his style that I liked, but there's sometimes when you see that it's too similar or too tricky or something. It's like when we were at the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum and we saw that painter that does paintings that are like John Singer Sargent, but with the volume turned up, you know, with the real brushy thing. He did one of Mrs. Gardner with her arms outstretched, and I think his name starts with a B, and he's Italian, Banzoni or something. I don't know what it is, but his his stuff is just a little too slick. John Singer Sargent is slick, but not too slick.
He's letting accidents happen.
He moves a little bit, towards slickness, but there's enough of the crustiness and the unslickness of it. But this other guy, um, whose name starts with B, I think he does the same kind of effort, virtuosic brushstroke, but every single brushstroke is that way, and it's just it's too sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy that I linked you to yesterday has a little tiny bit of that going on, and but sweet isn't maybe predictable. Is that the word I want?
Yeah, I think it's sort of like he's found where his bread and butter is, and he's going at it more out of habit than out of passion, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I'm gonna try and be fair to the guy. He's
Yeah.
doing what he wants, you know.
No, no. Well, yes, I don't mean to to be as mean spirited as I am. As
Work, I know, but
we're
it's one
picking.
of those. Yeah, I just don't. I didn't feel one way or the other about him. Let's say that.
Okay, there were there were elements of some of his the eyes that he drew on his dogs that reminded me kind of some of the eyes that you draw on your on some of your creatures. I mean, you're amazing in that you can draw so many different ways, and in some of the drawings you do, there's a certain formula that you use. I don't want to say formula. I don't mean it that way.
That's
But there's
perfectly valid. I have certain things. Artists have certain things that they turn to all the time. We
yeah,
all do it.
yeah. And you there when you're drawing faces, I see there's a certain way that you do make your eyes and a certain way that you make your nose, and I think this is you. Even when you're drawing realistically, there's a certain way you um, there's certain elements that you tend to
That
exaggerate.
I, right?
Huh?
That I lean towards.
Yeah, lean towards or exaggerate or something. And there's a little, if I am trying to remember, there's a certain button noseness that you enjoy using sometimes on drawings that are frontal. Uh,
Yeah.
and there's a certain uh, line work you use when you're describing the edges of the face, the cheeks, and the parts of the form that are receding and going around to the back that you sometimes use. So, uh, but then again, you surprise me because you draw differently the next time I see a drawing. But um,
I honestly think, though, if you were to look at all of my drawings and know that they were all from me, you'd probably be able to find things that were very, very similar
yeah,
in
uh,
all of.
you there are things that each of us, any artist does that they it might be kind of a shorthand uh, rather than a gimmick or a
Yeah, I think that's definitely it. You learn certain hand motions. And
uh,
also, sometimes people just have like this incredible fascination for certain features,
uh,
motions of the hand or whatnot. Like, the classic example, I suppose, would be Da Vinci and his if you look at his paintings, there's his what are they, the toes. I
uh,
can't remember toes. um his he always made the second toe bigger than the big toe or longer than the
uh,
big toe,
uh,
just always, for no apparent reason. And if you look at a lot of his women, they all sort of have that same sort of, oh, my eyes are closed and I'm looking down sort of elegance.
yeah,
Not a bad thing. It's just like a matter of him doing things a certain way.
yeah. Well, back in those times, there were, I think, more conventions for how you would depict a woman, because almost all the time the woman was Mary, you know.
Yeah,
So,
she had to look innocent and pure, and yeah.
so you didn't really have a choice. Innocent and pure, like the Polish guy says.
Mary is mommy, and mommy does not have sex.
And mommy does
That's
not.
sort of it, right?
Yeah.
One of the things I love is that, the Catholics, if you like, the reason they love Mary so much is because Jesus doesn't have the time to listen to you,
Uh,
but Jesus has time to listen to mom.
yeah.
He's not gonna say, no, mom, I can't talk to you right now. So you can't go directly to Jesus for help, but if you ask Jesus's mommy,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna start on a new one now. I'm having a better time drawing Santas than I thought I would.
Well, I think they're fun. I think
I mean,
they're.
it's one of those simple subjects.
I'm drawing Santa in jail here. His mugshot, because he was arrested for stealing cookies that were not meant for him.
I'm starting to draw what I think Santa might look like if he were a reindeer, although frankly he's starting to look a bit like a goat.
Goat. Okay. Make a little button nose for his profile. And Santa's he has a double chin on the back of his neck. You know how some fat people have that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You don't know that. You'll never
No.
be fat. There's not a fat particle in your entire body.
This looking like an alien Santa, so I'm just gonna go with it.
Well, he's looking like that Hamburglar a little bit.
A little bit. He's got the same facial structure going on.
Yeah.
I too observed the Nosferatu-like character of the
Oh,
Hamburglar, the
yeah.
1970 Hamburglar.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it was intentional or not, but remember how in that commercial you showed me, he raised his cape like that in
Yeah.
sort of the
Yeah.
classic Dracula style. That makes me think, okay, they were basing this guy off Nosferatu.
Yeah. It was really weird because it also looks like, he's flashing the kids. It's like if he's opening up
Yeah,
his
it's like
raincoat.
he's supposed to be like, oh, I give up, officer, but instead it's, here's my cape and I'm gonna spread it out. Look, kids.
There's the mugshot.
He looks pretty rough.
Yes. Wow. That's amazing. Your scary Santa.
I know. That's a lot of my drawings. Sometimes they either turn out, I think, friendly or scary. Yours always turn out elegant no matter what you do.
Yeah.
Mine are always like, I don't know how to. Do you know Milk Gross?
Yeah, I think so.
I would characterize it sort of like that.
Your drawings?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you can tell he sort of knows what he's doing, but he's not entirely in control, but he's fine with that.
I am going to draw well, should I continue to figure out what else can I do with Santa? I drew a naked Santa. I drew a Santa being burned alive. I drew a Santa. I'll draw Santa with his new outfit for next year because he read an article about vertical stripes being slimming. So let's see if it works. So here's his little face, little nose. I read about how Hamburglar got his stripes. Did you read about that?
Oh, I heard that. Please tell me.
He wore a black. He was all dressed in black, and he was, in order to keep him from being stealing the hamburgers, Ronald or Grimace or someone took part of his clothing, grabbed onto his clothing and pulled it away, like, and he's whirled around like a top, and his the black came off, leaving white underneath. So, and it's, it's not at all a convincing story. But I think the idea was they wanted to imply, I guess, that in this mythology that he wasn't born a burglar. He had the option to not be a burglar, maybe, but he chose the wrong path. Do you think that makes sense?
Path of hamburglary.
Let's see if stripes will help Santa look slimmer. Here's his belt.
Now, where did you learn that bit?
I was trying to find images of the Hamburglar to find the one where you were doing this Nosferatu thing, because they don't come up very easily. And one of them had to do with, how he got his stripes. I don't think this is making him look any thinner. What do you think?
No, it's sort of emphasizing things.
He's just turning into the longitudinal lines. He looks fatter. He looks like the globe, not the flat Earth, but the globe Earth. No, that doesn't work with him. I'm trying to see where your Santa Claus's mouth comes from. Is going to go.
Well, let's add like teeth right here. What do you say?
He has that sort of
that's horrifying.
Waldorf. Waldorf. What was the name of the guy in the magician in Harry Potter?
Oh, Voldemort. Yeah, he has that sort of aspect to him, doesn't he?
That beard or the mustache that comes down and goes straight down.
Oh no, that would be Dumbledore.
Oh, see, I don't know I saw only one of those movies reluctantly.
Yeah. The series is it's good for kids. That's what I'll say.
Well,
at this point I'm sort of going like an octopus Santa. I don't know if it's apparent.
It is. I do see the octopus from the other franchise, the Caribbean Pirates.
Yeah, the Pirates of the Caribbean thing, yeah.
And I see a little skull cap that he's wearing too.
Yeah, I'm certain what I'm doing with that line.
Yeah. So what do you think we should do? I enjoy doing this, and for some reason we're not having problems with our sound, particularly this time. So I don't know if it's
This is just a Christmas miracle.
It's a Christmas miracle. Um, but I like this idea that we're doing, where we're drawing Santa on um, Christmas Eve. Our next holiday is the New Year's Eve. We could draw champagne bottles or something.
Or the Santa's mouth is just completely cracking me up right now.
Oh, good. It's cracking me up a little bit too. But and this is what
I'm
the
sorry.
this is how the
So our
reindeer.
next holiday is Valentine's Day, so we would have to draw Cupid, wouldn't we?
Oh, I think we get into trouble with the pedophilia people drawing little naked children
We don't have to draw like baby Cupid. We could draw,
on
super hot.
a
And
18-year-old Cupid.
Oh yeah, the 18-year-old Cupid, the one that seduces Psyche and all that.
Yeah, maybe that's the one we'll draw. But we have to draw before we can't wait all that time until Valentine's Day. So,
Oh, so baby New Year's you're thinking, or
well, I'm thinking New Year's we can do something. We don't have to draw a Cupid or a baby. We can draw something else. So, I have a question. It's a little tiny bit personal, but
okay.
I'm going to ask it anyway. You have elegant fingernails. That's not
That
a
is
question.
not, they just grow out like that.
But you have fingernails that almost any dame would be envious of, but men often don't do that with their fingernails. Some who played the guitar do, so they have all these uh, personalized plucking things going on. But have you always had long fingernails?
Yeah, I just never like getting them clipped, and now I can just say, well, they come in handy for when I'm painting.
Okay, because you use them to scrape away the paint.
Exactly.
You use the talons for that. Yeah.
It's not a good idea, you know,
Yeah.
but I find it very I find it very convenient, and so long as I wash my hands good, I don't get poisoned
No, good.
very much.
The there used to be back in the olden days, when I was young, when you made a phone call, you'd dial the phone. You'd put your finger in a hole and you'd move it
Yeah,
around. And women often, secretaries often, who had long fingernails, could not do that very effectively with their fingernails. So
because they weren't shaped right.
they what?
Because they weren't shaped right, or
They didn't want to damage. I think it was more, they go through all this trouble to not only have
right.
long fingernails, but then they put their war paint on them, and that would chip and cause trauma. So there were pens that were actually made with ends to them that had little balls that some of them
Uh,
some of them could move, and some of them were just stationary balls, or which would essentially be your fingertip away from home. So you could dial the phone without having to uh, uh, risk the damage to your fingernails.
Now, see, I'd known of dialing wands, but I did not know that there were special multi-pen wand tools.
There were some uh, pencils, mechanical pencils that had little balls on the end. Don't go away, I'll show you. Just a minute.
Oh boy. He's having a hard time finding his whatever it is, everybody. I just realized we're still recording, and so I should have been distracting you this whole time from the presence of the entertaining person. So sorry about that. I should be more entertaining. Boh, io non lo so. Parlerò italiano o qualcosa. Ho contato un paio, no, tre amici, credo. Uno è non spagnolo proprio, ma peruano. E comunque, no, li avevano augurato, li avevo augurato. Non ho parlato di italiano per io non lo so quanto tempo, però ho augurato a ognuno di loro un buon Natale. E non lo so, credo di aver ricevuto un messaggio da uno, probabilmente Leonardo Argiolo? Io non lo so, non ricordo i nomi molto bene. Lo so che è Leonardo, però. Eh, comunque, che cosa di parlare? Oh no, sono noioso.
I've found them. Sorry about that. I they were
That's fine.
they were hidden underneath a bunch of pens. So here is what they look like.
Oh my.
This one
And
is
so you insert a little ball into the dialing hole, let's
yeah,
say.
yeah. So this one is you just put this on top of a pencil, any pencil, and this one is Cross Coal Company, dial 5153. Now that's when phone numbers only had 4 numbers. So, and when you also used to buy coal. But now we don't have any coal anymore, people.
We're
And,
bringing it back, but now that I've lost, they're gonna take it away again.
and here's these are Bell System properties. So these were actually given out to the operators of the telephone company, so they could do their one ringy dingy, two ringy dingy. And here is another one, which is on a little chain that you can have around your neck. And so there you go. Macy's.
Oh, Ella.
Macy's company made this one for their workers, so they could dial up their things. So there we go. Phone dialing. Well, we're now at 29, so I think I need to stop this one. Do you have anything else to say on this Christmas Eve?
Buon Natale a tutti.
Okay, and I will say happy Christmas Eve to everyone as well in English. And I'm going to ask you, Patrick, sorry, Russell, whatever. On a scale of naughty versus nice, where did you end up in that continuum?
It depends on who you ask. I would personally say leaning more towards naughty, but
Okay.
in the sense of if we're talking about the 7 capital sins, yeah, then I would probably say it's more pigrizia. What's the term in English other than laziness?
It's okay. Sloth. Sloth is one of the deadly sins.
Yes.
But not committing other sins because you're too lazy. I don't think we can blame you for that if that's what you were trying to say.
Yeah, I think sloth is probably one of the least grave of the seven deadly sins.
I mean, if
At
if
the
what
very
you're what
least, you're
yeah
too. It's like you said, you're too busy being lazy to do anything that's actually harming anybody.
to 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 eat more. I'm too lazy to be a glutton. I think it's better to be lazy than to be a glutton. Avarice, pride. I can't admit, I don't really see you as committing too many of those sins. Now the virtues, they're pretty boring. Charity and faith and hope, or whatever they are.
Well, nobody talks about the virtues.
No, but you are very, when you did have your job, you were doing much more charitable, I think, than you were being paid for. You were doing a lot more for your fellows. Um, so anyway,
Well, if
uh,
I were to say that you have any of those characteristics, it would probably be patience. I don't know if that's one of them, but
I think
having to deal
I
with
think
me.
you caused other people to be patient, so therefore it was a good thing, maybe. Well, on that note, your octopussian uh, Santa is really quite fun. I look forward to seeing these posted on your Instagram. I will post mine, and we will do this again. So I will see you later, and I'll stop the recording now. Bye.
Bye bye.